I am Carolyn Robistow, and I help entrepreneurs go through two separate phases in building their business. And the first one, very unexpectedly, actually, is to get control of a regular drinking habit so that it's not putting a handbrake on their energy, their motivation, their ability to follow through on these super important tasks that they're very excited about, but it kind of sucks their will to take forward steps with it. So we first get the alcohol habit under control. And that's the course I'm currently building my circuit for. And then the follow up course is one about using similar techniques to deal with mindset issues that then come up once the alcohol is no longer a problem. So I'll build that circuit next. I was coming off the back of my second launch, maybe third launch of my Optimize AF Academy. And it was abysmal. And I just was like, I've invested so much into messaging and funnels and launching courses. And I feel like they are all very, very good courses. Like, I'm not knocking what I learned from those, but what I kept bumping into and what I would say to my coaches is the problem I'm having is that when people are ready to change with alcohol, they are ready and it changes very quickly for them because the way the brain works, like immediately these old habits are going to come into play. It's just neuroscience. Like I felt like I'm fighting against the very thing I'm trying to help with. And then just kind of there you were saying, like, can we just stop pretending launching is the way to do this? And I was like, thank God it's not just me. Like, it was so validating to be told, like, it's not just you, which obviously I'm trying to say to my clients, right? Like, it's not just you. This thing you're having with alcohol is a very real thing. And so it just felt very aligned with the relief that I needed. My biggest hesitation was I have invested tens of thousands into learning how to launch and how to do this. And, what is going to make this any different? Is this just another way of me to maybe procrastinate and think, oh, if I just learn a new way to do things, then I'll be better when really I'm just avoiding my business. And so I did sit in my head for a minute about like, do I need another course on courses? I feel like 1 zillion% relieved that I did it anyway. And I'm kind of trying to think like, well, what changed my mind about that? Like, where did I decide like, yeah, no, I still need this one? And I will say honestly too, what I have found with this one, and this is a little off track, but is that I have found it so much easier to stay consistent with this one and to follow through with the work. And I know that that is a combination of how supportive and perfectly timed the emails are that come to me that say, you may be at this point, you may be feeling this. Like I got one this morning that was like, you may be right here. And I'm like, Nikki, yes, I am right there. And it was just so encouraging. It wasn't like, remember to also do this. It was just like, these are the other people who've also been there. And I was like, oh, thank God. Um, but so going back to what changed my mind then about actually purchasing it is I honestly, if I sat and thought about it long enough, I could probably pull up some reasons. But I think the biggest thing was just feeling like, no, everything about what she's saying is so spot on with my experience. There's no way she doesn't have the answer for me. Like, she can't know this much about how my people need it right when they need it on their time. It cannot be on my time. I cannot bank all my income on these launches anymore. Like, I think that was just the biggest thing was like, if she knows my problem that well, she sure as shit knows the solution. And I have found out that she does. You do. Like it is all proven to be very helpful at this point. It has been this easy to follow through with and to not just put it in my list of, yep, there's another course that I bought. And it's a lot because, and this maybe is part of it too. Obviously you walk through the modules and I was just like, good God, how many modules are there? Like there are so many modules. But and so I thought maybe like, is this just too big of an undertaking? And I'm sure at some point you said something like, and you may be feeling like this is too big of an undertaking. Because what I love about the modules, and I think I actually emailed this or put it in the group a little while back. I'm like, but it is so like detailed and specific. Like I literally feel like you're standing next to me, holding my hand, going, I know, Carolyn. I know that this is probably where you want to do XYZ, but just this is exactly what to do next. Don't even worry about all that. Don't even look there. Just go back to this module, copy and paste what you wrote there, and put it right here in this specific text box. And I will be here for the next thing too. Like it's so broken down that it has actually also made me go back into my own courses and go, okay, where can I actually hold people's hands a little bit more? So it's been beneficial in that way too. It is very different from any of the other courses that they may have taken because it is so specific with the hand holding. And that it doesn't, the accountability doesn't look like I expected it to look like, but it's more effective than anything that has matched my expectations. Like, just like I said, like your emails pop up and I'm like, there it is. And it's just a freaking email. Like, I did not need this plan to check in on and this community to be a part of. Like, I just needed someone to say, you might be having this problem right now. Let me just kind of nudge you through that. So it's a lot more simple despite the length and breadth of the undertaking feels like. It also feels really important. Like one thing that I'm sure you said it multiple times in the beginning, but that I would go back and say to myself back then is you only have to do this once. And from there, it's just fine tuning and tweaking. But there will be only one time that it is this big of an undertaking. And I can get through anything once. It's the idea. I think that's where it's different from launching too. With launching, it's like you just have to get through this and then you want to like die for 6 months. And then by the time you finish recovering, you have to do it all over again. And even if you're using the same slideshow for a webinar, like you still have to muster that again and you have to bank on it again. Like with the circuit, I only have to do it once. And from there on out, it is just fine tuning, which feels so manageable.